Hi y'all. First things first. I got the top cleaned out and it's nice and clean there, really clean. And it has been an adventure to learn about that stuff. As you can see, all that's left there are the bite adjustment pins and everything else is pretty much out except for the posts and the horizontal arm shaft and that stuff. But it's clean. So I wanted to show you that. And what I'm doing with that, it's on sabbatical. I had put the followers and the stitch selection arm shaft and all that stuff back in, and it was working fine, except that when I did up the one screw on the one follower, I didn't tighten it enough and it was brushing lightly against the inside of the machine there. So I took it out all apart and then I put it back in again and I fixed it and I took it out again. So I've done it twice now. It's been twice that I've taken it out and put it back in, and the first time I got it working, but not working correctly. The second time I put it all back in, I didn't film it, and I got it working correctly. And then I took it out again because I want to do it 2 or 3 more times at least before I maybe get away from it for a number of months. So that's what's going on with the control arm shaft and all that stuff. I'll be getting back to it. But in the meantime, these are the parts from the same machine, this 500J, serial number 000119. And I have bags here, and starting from the left, over there, I've got the presser bar, the needle bar, the hook and positioning pin, and that other spring that lines it all up. Here I've also got the throat plate positioning lever and all its stuff, and then the stitch length regulating lever and its parts. So they all have to be cleaned, and my cleaning process is going to be that I will clean them in crud cutter if I have to, and like for most of those I will. I won't for any of that stuff. That crud cutter can't touch the painted or etched labels because it will damage. It will change it, and it won't come back. But so apart from that warning about that and that, not getting crud cutter, and the plastic thing, probably not. But you know, it's your judgment call with your experience with your machines. I am going to use crud cutter, and then once the crud cutter has, once they've sat in the crud cutter for a little while, soaked in there, and I can see that the dirt is coming off and they're getting cleaner, then I'm going to put them into an oil bath right away. Instead of soap and water or something else, or rubbing alcohol or whatever. So it's going to be crud cutter and oil, and if I don't use crud cutter, then it's going to be directly going to oil. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get these out of their bags one at a time, put them in some crud cutter, and then after they soak in the crud cutter, I'm going to put them in the oil in another container. I have about a half dozen little containers there for the parts, so that I won't get any of the parts mixed up. It'll stay organized, but I will get everything you see here cleaned like in the next couple hours. Here we go. Let's get started. So first I have all my hook stuff, and there's the hook shaft and the hook, which is, where is the hook? The hook is right there. That's where the hook is, right there. So I'm going to take that piece of tape off there. I'm going to put that in there. That's the hook shaft. And the foot I'm not going to put in there. The dog I may not put in there. There's the gear. And I definitely will put that in. The set screw is there, and also my mesh mark is there. And using that screw as a reference, that set screw as a reference, I know, even if I lost my mark, I would know that's the position it needs to be for with that tooth. But I think it'll serve. In the past, nail polish has survived crud cutter. Here is the cushioning spring. Earlier I called it the thing that aligns everything down there, but that's what it is, it's the cushioning spring. So there's your correction, and or my correction actually. And here is the positioning pin, and then I have the dog screws. And what else do I have? I have a set screw, and I'm wondering if that set screw is the set screw. Oops. Okay, so I have established that that screw is the set screw that tightens the positioning pin shaft down underneath the bed. So out of my hook stuff, the only stuff that is going in crud cutter is the hook shaft gear, the positioning pin, and the hook bobbin case and hook shaft itself. This other stuff, the screws, the dog, the foot, the cushioning spring, and the set screws and screws, they're just getting oil. They're not going in crud cutter because that cushioning spring will get discolored, I do believe. The dog may or may not, but it doesn't need that much cleaning. So that's what I'm doing. So and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this stuff soak in here, and I'm going to put quite a bit of crud cutter in here and maybe tip it a bit so that I get more crud cutter down at one side than the other. So I'll just put that pair of pliers down there. So the shallower stuff like the positioning pin and I saw red coming off that mesh gear there, so that may be my nail polish that I'd put on there to mark it. So let me see how much I have there now. Fair enough, so that's going to be there, and then the oil is going to go on our friends over here. And even after these pieces come out of here, I'm still going to be putting, you know, the other stuff in, like the hook and the hook shaft and the gear and the positioning spring. So I'll give that a little stir. And I definitely will give that a little stir. And let me spray on that. And actually I'm going to turn this and spray on it that way so that the crud cutter gets right down inside the oil hole there for now. So the nail polish is still there, the mesh mark is still surviving. Very good, I'm going to let that sit for 20 minutes, half an hour. Alright, this is pretty cool, this is pretty clean. And I'm really pleased with the way it's come out of the crud cutter. And you know what I've done while I was off camera was I did pull this out and I did check both the the inside race down here and this top ledge race up here, and they're both clean. The one in particular was the inside race, because you know it's in that concave molding or section of the bobbin case, and that's a very easy place for dirt to hide or not be able to get access to it. So I am pleased with that. Is there a bit there? I'm pleased with the way it's cleaned. I think any imperfections I may use a plastic brush with, but here we go. I'm going to oil that oil hole and the entire piece. Right? Yes. Top to bottom, especially near the hook. That little piece of steel there protects the hook. And get the inside race there, and I'm happy with that. And so my hand is oily, but I'm going to take this stuff and just damp dry it, just cloth dry it in my dirty work towel here, and see if there's any grunge or varnish or anything, rust or smudge or whatever left on this. And so I'll get the crud cutter off. We'll have a look at it. Tell you what. There, so that's really spotless too. I'm happy with that. There is an imperfection on this, and it was that little edge there is broken. That little hole, it's broken, and that's a common break on these positioning pins on these 400s and 500 series singers. And there should be a little pin sticking out there, but it's gone, which is fine. It'll still work. And I'm just going to throw some oil on that as well. So now there's more oil again. And now our last friend is the actual mesh gear, the hook mesh gear itself. So we'll soak that up. And there we can see the mesh nail polish is right there by the set screw. And that's nice and clean. That is really, even the blades on the mesh are nice. So let's give this some oil. A good dousing of oil. And then I'll pull out that screw a bit, that set screw a bit. And then I'll put it back in there with the oil. So that's good. So that concludes like the hook. But I still have the other stuff. And what's going in here next is now the throat plate positioning bracket parts. The bracket is right here. So I'll be doing something else with that. And I'm not putting the cover in. I'm not putting the cover that goes there. That will not be going in crud cutter. And I'm not going to put the plastic nut in either. So I'll take them out of here right now. And that one I'm not even going to put in the oil. I'm going to wash that separately. It'll get a custom wash. Likewise that plastic nut. And there's the springs. There's the matching clip or spring or washer. There's one of the tubes, another one of the tubes, one of the things, and one of the other ones. And then we have the pins, and then we have a couple of screws. And I want to look at those screws, don't I? Of course I do. Where are they? There's one. There's the other. And they're soft screws. They may be some kind of, brass or some kind of alloy. but they're not as strong as steel. They're malleable. They can be destroyed with a screwdriver, I believe. So that's where the screws are. And now I'm not going to put them in the same container that the hook and all its pieces are in. They're going to go in their own container there. And it's going to get its own oil. And so I can see that later today or first thing tomorrow I'll be going to get some more oil, sewing machine oil and crud cutter. But and then with these tubes, they'll spray right inside them as well. What else do I want to spray? That's about it. I do want to spray this. And the area that I want to start with is right down here. So I'll do that. And this I'm going to clean right now, this bracketing lever. Because it's awkward. It's not something that is convenient to have lying around. So that's good. There is some discoloration, but it's not, I don't believe it to be rust or varnish, so it's going to survive. What do I want to see on this end? I want to do that, and I want to do that, and I want to get the crud cutter off right away, especially that chrome switch, that chrome lever that I just, oh geez, I got that wet now. That wasn't supposed to happen. And then since I am so concerned about that chrome lever there, right away I'm going to, see, I can't detach it. That is punched in there. So it's like, don't take it out because you may never get it back in again. Well, I'm not the factory. Anyway, I will oil that and that, because I don't want it to get discolored by crud cutter. So I'll just leave that like that. And those dudes, they're all going to hang out in there. And I'm gonna, now some of the crud cutter took some of the nail polish off this wooden shrimp skewer. See, in there, it's just colored there, so. Well, that's good to know, because if I want to clean my pointer, I can clean it. Anyway, we'll let that sit for a bit. Whoopsie daisy, kicking you around. We'll be back shortly, my friends. Hope you guys are having fun. You betcha. Now I got some clean work towels here. So there we go, just a matter of wiping them dry. And then for these things here, I'm also going to get my cotton swab and go in there and see what we get there. See, so we still got some stuff there, man. Oh yeah. Okay, well that's pretty clean. And so that's good. So let me put some oil in up there, and then down in there and on it, and then I'll do the same thing with that one. Soak up all the liquid crud cutter, and then get the cotton swab. What do we get this time? Not bad. There's a little bit of smudge, a little bit of grunge. Nice, we'll put that in there. The springs, well, the springs are easy. It's just a matter of dry them off with the shop towel, shop cloth. They'll get lots of oil in there. And same with these dudes. Let's look at them. They're a little, are they grimy still? Let's have a look-see. Well, I'm going to put them in the oil. They're good. And we're just, you know, these, I mean, they're only museum pieces to a point. Just for the channel. So we're working right through it, my friends. And it's just a process. If this is your first time, it's, you know, it's work. It's a little bit of grubby. This is a great review for the rest of us. And a lot of the videos that I do are geared to first time, even though they're intended for people who aren't first time, as a review. So it's nice to talk about that, but let's get some oil on here. And then we got these two springs. And that'll be our throat plate positioning bracket system. So we'll get the KK off of that. Where's the other one? Did I just drop the other one? There it is there. And that one too. And now we'll get some oil here. We'll put some more of that in there for the next guy. There we go. There's some oil on there. Same deal there. Oil on there. Oil on there. We'll wipe it off. So what's going in the crud cutter next, friends? What's in here? That looks like pressure bar stuff. Didn't ya? Okay. So, yeah, for sure that's a pressure bar. Right? Here we'll pressure bar it right down to there. And we'll get a tip of the lid too. And so I need a container for this stuff now. So where am I going to put this stuff? Well, most of that stuff is pretty small. So I think I might be able to get away with one of these kind of containers for the oil. You know what I'm saying? So we'll put some oil in there. A goodly amount. Indeed. And the spring will, good, the spring fits. And what do we got there? Well, I've got the little spring on there. Well, you know what, I'll put it in there. I'll take that out in a minute. I won't leave that in for the full 20 or whatever, or half hour. So there's the other parts. That can go in there. There's the screw for that. I don't really need that to go in there, so I'll put it in there. I'll throw that in there. So I've got the screw there and the screw there. Boy, I wrapped that up good, didn't I? I sure did. So there's that screw. I'm just going to put that in like that because it's kind of a chrome lever. Fair enough, there's some smudge that come off, but I'm just going to leave it in the oil. We'll let the oil do the work on that maybe. And then there's the screw, it can go in there. What else do I have? See, that area right down there is normally a real dirty spot. Maybe there's a little bit of grunge in there still. There is. You know what, let's get on to it right now with a brush. Oh, I dropped the brush. This is a plastic brush. And then I'll take this fine tip blade on the screwdriver, see what's going on. So it's come off, or it's starting to, because that side is a lot cleaner. So there's some more there. You know what, we're good with that. So let's get some oil on this puppy, this pressure bar puppy. And we got a hole there for the screw, and that's about it. So that's nice. What else we got? We got this baby here. Where's my paper towels? Sharp towels. So the spring is good, and if you can avoid taking that spring off of there, leave that spring on there if you can. I'm telling you, leave it on there. So that's good. Let's get some oil on here now. How are we lined up here? Good, and while we're here, we'll pour some more oil on that. And it'll all run down into there. So that was the pin. And that might have been attached to a screw or something. So, but I've accounted for the screws and the parts, so I'm not concerned about that. That's not an issue. I haven't lost any parts because, I have separate containers for each department or each little machine within the larger machine, the grand machine. And that's how I kind of do my, unfolding organization. There's a little bit of grunge there. Oh no, it's not grunge, it's more like wear and tear, it's burnished in there a little bit from use, from hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of revolutions and stuff. So let me get the screw out of there, and there it is there. And let me get a cotton swab or two. And that's what came out of the set screw threads there. And then what we got in here, not much. It's looking pretty good. Where's that paper towel, that shop towel? So I'll get this oiled up right here, like that, and then I'll get the set screw and we'll put it in its place. And we'll sink it down in there so everybody gets their share. And then it gets a final little, who's going in there next? Well, we did the presser bar, so now we're going to do the needle bar. So let's, oh geez, almost forgot that screw, Jebb. Don't be doing that. I put it in there. Where did that one go? Here, and you know what? I'm going to put that in there. That doesn't go in there. That goes in there. But I don't want to put it in there. So I know that screw is there. And let me see what we're looking at here. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to change that crud cutter. I'm still here. I'm still with you. And you know, Sunday morning, 5, 6 a.m. is a great time to film a video. Traffic's real quiet. So what I've done now is I've emptied the old crud cutter out of the container and washed the container. So I'm just going to start putting some more crud cutter in there. And I'm going to prop the plastic container up underneath that pair of pliers like I had before. And we'll just get some started in there. Like that. And before I put anything in there, here's the needle bar. Here's the needle bar clamp screw. I've loosened it. But you can see the needle bar is really dirty. And that's the bottom of the needle bar where the needle goes and all that, and this is the top of the needle bar. It's kind of hollow up there. Let me put a cotton swab in here and see if I get anything. It goes down quite a bit. I can't feel bottom yet, so it must go all the way through, but it's not that dirty. You know, we didn't get much gunge out of there. So let me start by just spraying a little crud cutter right down the inside of the tube. There, it's coming out the top now, and there it is coming out the bottom as well, whether it's off my fingers or what have you. But I can spray the parts that I can see that really need it, so that it will get a good soaking. There. I don't want that like that. What else? What else is going in there? What I have here is the old broken part of the thread take-up lever, the needle bar thread take-up lever that I broke on this machine. So I guess I can keep that for a souvenir if I want. But you know, well, yeah, I'll keep it. I don't know. Maybe I'll grind it down on that end and polish it up and put it on a chain or wear it around my neck or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw it out. Fair enough. So here's the needle bar clamp itself, and there's the screw. The screw I'm not going to put in the crud cutter. I'm going to put it in the oil right off. That I'm going to put in the crud cutter just for like 2 minutes. So fair enough on that. that is all the bottom of the needle bar, and it's kind of chrome stuff, so it's going right in the oil right away. And then here, there's a couple of things going on. I've undone this already, and I'm not putting that in the crud cutter because I think it'll tarnish, so it goes right in the oil. That can go in the crud cutter, and so, well, that's pretty shiny, and it's not that dirty, so I'm going to put it in the oil first. Now this is like an aluminum cast thing. It's got a little set screw there. So, do I want to put this in crud cutter? You know what, I don't, because there's a little bearing, plastic bearing here, and there's a screw for it, and I don't want to take it apart. I don't know what I will cause if I take this out. And what I'm concerned with is, do I want to go to the trouble of marking it, taking it out, and putting it back exactly, opening up the possibility that I may not put it back exactly. So no. So it's going to go in oil. What I may do right now is just take some crud cutter and do that part, because I can see it's grungy, and that part. What else? There, that's it. So the actual plastic that I can see, or whatever that is, has not had crud cutter. And I'm just going to grab my shop towel from the trash can and get the obvious moisture, then grab a cotton swab. Oh yeah, so we're getting some smudge out of there. Right on, ski. Good job, Jebb. We'll clean that out. And now that little black piece, plastic, Bakelite, or whatever it is, it'll get oil. Just like this. Just like the whole thing is going to get right now. The outside, the interior parts, everything parts, all over the place. So that's going in there. And that's, I'm going to have to brush that with oil later. What have I got here? Here I've got that needle bar clamp, where the needle bar clamp set screw goes in. So this is the time to get the cotton swabs. Ooh, I didn't know that. Did you see what just happened there? I didn't know that came out. Wow. Well, that's nice to know. Isn't it? Isn't that cool? You learn something new every day. Gotta have your eyes open. It's good to play with these things, isn't it? Good thing you guys come to Jebb Adams to learn about machines while you're playing with them, man. Listen to me promoting myself. Hey. Okay, that's it for the shameless self-promotion. Get back to work, Jebb. Don't break your hand patting yourself on the back. Okay, so let me get my oil here and oil up this new adventure part. That is really cool. I'm glad that it was on film, you know, that it was being taped. And that's exactly why you want to record these things, right? So when the unexpected happens, you've got it, so you go back and fix it. So what are we going to do with this needle bar? Well, let me wipe it off and see how much time or work it's going to need still. If it needs any, in fact. You know, so far we've been doing pretty good. Well, it's certainly getting cleaned, I think. There's oil in there. We can hear it. See, I was looking to see if it come out the bottom, and I think it might, but I couldn't see it. So I'm just going to leave it like that and let it drain on an angle. What else we got in there? So that was all for that. What else do I have? I had this bag. It says stitch length regulating lever 500J 000119. That's the one I'm looking for. Go figure. You know, the universe is unfolding as it should. So right off the bat, we're going to get the injurable out of there. And we see there's a little screw there. So we're just going to leave that little screw there. We're not going to mess with that. And what do we got here? Let's pour out the bag and see what's going in. Crud cutter and what ain't. Eh? You betcha. See what I'm doing here? I'm undoing this screw. Well, I thought I was undoing that screw. Let me try that again. There, I'm undoing that screw. And I pulled that right out. And that might be oil from before. Probably. But it's going in there. It's going in there. It's going in there. It's going in there. The other stuff, no. And same routine. Bring it down here. Set it up. Get our subjects down there. Give them crud cutter and give these dudes oil. These dudettes and dudes. The dudes. Yeah. What do you think of that? Eh? We'll shake that around. I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes. I want you guys to have fun, take a break. Just giving these things some oil, making sure they get it, that one I'd like to get some oil on the inside as well. Let me get a, where's my cotton swabs gone? I think they're actually over here. Okay, yeah, so there's some dirt coming out of there. Oh yeah, big time. I don't even want to put that one back in. Okay, that must have got most of it then. Let me turn it around. Fair enough. And then I'll get a bit of my shop cloth. Nice, the oil's taking that off. That's tidying those threads up. Let me just turn it. Good, so I'm happy with that. I'll put it over there. Now I'm going to get this spring. And then the cotton swab. Oh yeah, we're getting stuff off there, man. Yep. Let me give it a jigger. And this is the stitch regulating lever system. So we'll put that down over there. And then I just have these two little parts. The one goes inside that, whatever you call it. I'll figure out before the end of the video. So I can just try and grab it out with a cotton swab. What do we do there? Okay, so it's getting the grime from inside that little washer. And now it's good to go over there. And then we have this little piece that goes inside that furled nut, that furled screw. It looks like that, really flat. And then it's got kind of the threads at the bottom there. So that's all I'm going to do with that, is just, that's all I can do. Just wipe it off, soak up the oil. But you know, it's oil. You know, it's been washed in crud cutter and then rinsed in oil. You know, so it saves a step for this little stuff that can be cleaned efficiently that way. It saves a lot of work, you know, because my regular full-blown cleaning process is like a five-step process sort of thing, sometimes 6. Anyway, enough about that, blah, blah, blah. Let's get back in here and see what we got going on here. And if I can take this shop towel and wipe some of this filth off. Am I getting any? I don't seem to be getting anything off there. But it seems cleaner than when it went in. But see, if crud cutter didn't get it off, I'm always thinking like, why? Because if it was a stain or a varnish or, you know, some kind of you know, smudge or whatever, it would come off. But, and there's nothing I can really do to get in there. I can maybe just, you know, get the entrance there just like that. But that doesn't do anything. So it's just a matter of oiling it. And that has oil in it, so I'll start by putting oil in this space and letting it overflow, which it's doing into the container. So it's nice and oily, and I'll just scrub it in the oil before I even put it in the oil and let it soak in the oil. And you know what? Since I do have a plastic wire brush, and I do have my needle nosers, so that's with the plastic brush. What I want is the steel wire brush, like that. Okay, now I'll go to this end. Fair enough, good enough. And I'll oil it again. And then I'll soak up the excess oil. And there's some oil in there in the tube, a little bit. That's not a very big tube. It's got the slot on it as well. That's pretty good. I don't know if I can improve upon that even with the steel wire brush. And if a steel wire brush won't do it, then, but you know what? It does seem to be getting better each time. So, and the thing is, every time I use the wire brush on it, whether it's plastic, steel, or brass, or whatever, the part gets dirtier again from the wire brush, because as soon as you use the wire brush once, it's dirty. you know. I never clean or wash wire brushes. Okay, there, that's good now. Let's take a look at these parts here. Now let's see what we got. Yeah, it's doing a good job cleaning it. Now this piece that I'm wire brushing is going to be filthy just from the wire brush, because wire brush is dirty. See, there's all that dirt right there, there and there. That all came off right just now. So I'm happy with that. There's the oil container with a little bit of oil. I don't need a lot of oil in this container right now because there's not a lot of big parts for this thing. And so I can pretty much, you know, just do a hand bomb in it. So let's take a look at that. It looks really good. All I'm going to do with that is see if I can get the end of the cotton swab in there. Make sure there's no dirt or smudge in there. Okay, we got some. We might have got a little more, not much though. So it's good to go. We'll put it in the oil. And a little dab will do ya. And then let it sit down there. So now we're down to this piece, which is that washer. And it still feels greasy. Let's see how clean it is. It's good. So it's oil and join the other team members. Lots of oil. Let's get the inside there just to make sure. Roger that. And roger this. We'll soak up the excess oil. Right on. I need a new shop towel. What am I being so cheap with shop towels for? You think I was paying? Well, I am paying for this stuff. Alrighty, so now we have this, and it does have that screw in there. So we'll take that screw out, and we'll mop it up, and into the oil. And out of the oil like that. Yeah, we're getting some smudge out of there, so we'll just keep going. So that's pretty clean. I don't think anything's going to get cleaner on that by keeping it in Qued Cutter, so we'll bathe it in the oil, making sure that I use a cotton swab to get the oil right down where the screws go and all that stuff. There, we got them both, and now we'll wipe the excess oil off. And guess what? You want to guess what? I'll tell you guess what. We're done cleaning this stuff. We're done cleaning it. And so I still have to put this stuff together. And then I have to install it all. But I still have to wipe down a good part of it. And I will do that. So what have we accomplished? Well, we, just in this video, we did presser bar, needle bar, the hook and mesh gear, the positioning pin, the cushioning spring, the throat plate positioning bracket system. So that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 systems that we needed to get clean and maintained in order to reinstall them as part of the Singer 500 restoration series. I think this is video number 7 or episode number 7. Hey, listen, as always, thank you. You know, if nobody came here and watched this, it just wouldn't be the same, believe me. And I do thank you for all of your support. I know a lot of you are first-timers here. Come and have some fun and learn some stuff, or even if you know it already and you're way advanced, you know, even beyond myself, this is a great review. There's 355 videos here, and maybe I don't have them all organized as well as I would like to, but there's some really good information here. Not just because it's me, but because it's the photography and it's the machines. So I can always improve the videography, and I am cleaning the machines up. So listen, have fun, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Thanks again. Please subscribe. I actually do appreciate and need your help. And the channel and everything does that, needs that. So yeah, a big thank you, and have fun, and for now, adios amigos.